People are curious how a guy, you've sold how many records?
28 million.
And made millions and millions of dollars.
Yeah.
How do you end up in here?
I think everyone who's watching knows how I ended up in here.
I don't know if they do.
I'm pretty sure they do. And I met the devil in God's country. You know, and it's not so much who, it's what, you know, what happened.
It's all a part of this Epstein file. Uncle Luke had Jay-Z on the couch and he had the girls off there freaking off while he was watching and everything. Jay couldn't take his eye off the girls.
DMX tried to warn us. DMX was speaking out against the industry a long time ago. Check this out.
This the wrong one in the industry and you will get hurt. I'm not an industry artist. I'm an artist in the industry. So I do what the because nobody can finish me.
That's the
The industry wanted, dead or alive, new artists to sell their souls and where they survive.
I think it's a conspiracy against me, you know, because in the absence of the truth, bullshit will prevail.
DMX's warning about Jay-Z is finally coming true. DMX could never stand that man, and now everything that has come out, it's safe to say he saw right through Jay. And while the media obsessed over DMX's legal troubles, they missed the real story, the warnings he was dropping between the headlines, the truths he was trying to share about the music industry and the forces behind it. DMX talked a lot about meeting the devil, and he didn't mean it as a figure of speech. He believed the devil appeared in his life, offering deals in exchange for his soul, and he wasn't shy about calling out the people he saw running the show, from Jay-Z to the executives controlling him. And the newly released Epstein files, it really gives us a perspective on what DMX was warning about.
Jay-Z's name pops up twice in the files. First, there's an FBI intake report, seemingly linking Jay to Harvey Weinstein and Epstein. And then there's the Jess Staley email. The former Barclays CEO emailed Epstein to tell him that the rich don't have to worry about black protesters anymore because they've been bought off by Jay-Z. So that's two separate mentions of Jay-Z's name in the Epstein files, in connection to powerful, hidden networks. The same kind of networks DMX spent his career warning people about. But the moment DMX started exposing how the industry works, he went from dominating the charts to barely getting radio play. People blamed his substance problem, but the timeline tells a different story. Every time he tried a comeback, something interfered. And then, right when he was sober and making new music, he was gone, supposedly from an OD. But a lot of people still do not buy it. We have seen this time and time again. Artists who speak out, especially about spiritual truths or shady business practices, get silenced or erased. DMX wasn't afraid to talk about God, the devil, or the industry's evil agenda, and that made him dangerous to the powers in charge.
People are curious how a guy, you've sold how many records?
28 million.
And made millions and millions of dollars.
Yeah.
How do you end up in here?
I think everyone who's watching knows how I ended up in here.
I don't know if they do.
I'm pretty sure they do.
Back in 2007, DMX performed The Industry on HBO's Def Poetry Jam. In that performance, he exposed the truth about the music business, exposing how artists are manipulated, pressured, and forced to compromise themselves.
Hit you with, you know what I'm saying? And it basically reflects on my relationship with the industry. This is what it is. Often, my words fall on deaf ears. Motherfuckers be listening, but don't hear. Talking to a nigga, he be sitting right here. I be like, where you going? Yeah. Thank you.
But DMX didn't just talk about street life or label politics. He spoke about the forces of good and evil, and a real spiritual battle happening behind the scenes in the entertainment world.
Whenever I went through something, it brought me closer to God. And I stayed into something. So now I'm closer to God. But being closer is hard. The attacks get stronger, become much harder to fight, and they last longer. That's what it's always been. Joy with the pain, dark with the light, sun with the rain. With the right perspective, there can be something to gain. Look for the good and the bad, not the sun and the rain.
In interviews and his music, DMX made it clear the darkness in the industry wasn't just about money or power. The devil was real. Certain people in the business were working with that energy, hiring witches, performing rituals to certain type of deities to stay famous and young, and pushing artists toward the same path X had refused. When he turned it down, he started warning others about the devil in the industry, and that decision came with consequences.
In September 2013, DMX appeared on the Dr. Phil show, where he openly discussed his life, legal troubles, finances, and personal struggles. However, he also spoke about spiritual battles and the industry's hidden layers. Dr. Phil then referenced some of X's lyrics, like the line, "Mow the grass to see the snakes," which led to a conversation about X's spiritual side. And X explained how every album he did contains a conversation with God. For him, it wasn't just music, it was a battle between light and dark.
Well, I want to take a look at some of the lyrics from your song.
How about I pick the lyrics?
Who We Be. I think you'll like these lyrics. The hurt, the pain, the dirt, the rain, the jerk, the fame, the work, the game.
I like what you said. Yeah. Did it.
The friends, the foes, the bins, the hoes, these studios, the shows. Why don't you just read it? I like the way you read.
It comes and it goes. The jealousy, the envy, the phony, the friendly, the one that gave him the slugs, the one that put him in me, the snakes, the grass, too long to see. The lawnmower sitting right next to the tree. It's right there, just mow that grass and you'll see the snakes.
Yeah. You've had, I guess I would call it a gospel song, or certainly
gospel song and a conversation with the Lord on every album.
On every album. Lord, give me a sign. I pulled some of those lyrics out. Tell me what these lyrics are and what they mean.
It's a conversation with the Lord. I really need to talk to you, Lord. Since the last time we talked, the walk has been hard. Now, I know you haven't left me, but I feel like I'm alone. I'm a big boy now, but I'm still not grown. I'm still going through it, pain and the hurt, soaking up trouble like rain in the dirt. And I know only I can stop the pain with just a mention of my Savior's name. In the name of Jesus, devil, I rebuke you for what I go through and trying to make me do what I used to. But all that stops right here. As long as the Lord's in my life, I will have no fear. I will know no pain from the light to the dark. I will know no shame, spit it right from the heart, because it's right from the start that you held me down and ain't nothing they can tell me now. Lord, give me a sign.
And then Dr. Phil asked about the 3 run-ins with the devil DMX claimed he had. That's when X explained that if you truly want to understand the world, you must see both sides. He recognized the devil by his offers, things that sounded good but came with a dark price.
You've had a song on every album, a conversation with God.
Yes.
You've had
and a prayer.
And I think you've had
3 conversations with the devil.
3 conversations with the devil. Why with the devil?
Well, to make a fair decision, I think you have to be aware of both sides. And I was approached, so of course I had a conversation. It doesn't mean I rode with him or believed him. I just was able to recognize him by what he said to me and what he offered me. Say, oh, now I know you are. That's why I stopped talking to him. I put out 7 albums, but he's only on 3.
But this wasn't the only time. In 2009, interview from jail in Arizona, DMX said he met the devil in God's country. To DMX, Arizona's sunrises seemed spiritual at first, but then he experienced something deeply disturbing. He associated that place with a spiritual battle and promised never to return.
You let me know.
I first came to Arizona, man, and I remember one day coming from the studio at 6 o'clock in the morning and pulling over on the highway. We like 4 cars, just to watch the sunrise. And it was at that point that I fell in love with Arizona. I said, you know what, this has to be God's country. Because I'd never seen anything as beautiful as that sunrise. Then I met the devil in God's country. And it's not so much who, it's what, what happens and the things that the devil does. It's not so much a person, even though he acts through people. You can't call one person the devil.
Joe Arpaio?
You can't call any one person the devil. You can't do that because no one person has enough power to be the devil. And it's through all these hardships that I realized that, you know what? This is God's country because I met the devil here. Because if I hadn't met the devil here, I wouldn't realize I was strong enough to overcome the obstacles that the devil would place in my path. And it's by overcoming these obstacles that I realized that this is God's country. Because he helped me get over these obstacles. He helped me get over these hurdles.
Okay, but when you're done here, when you're out of here,
I'm not looking back.
You're not coming back?
No, I'm not coming back. I'm not coming back for a show. I'm not coming back for a visit. I'm not even driving through the states. If I'm in a plane and they gotta fly over it, I'm gonna go around.
So was this a metaphorical encounter with the devil, or was it an actual confrontation? Well, consider who DMX always spoke out against. Powerful music executives and artists who sell their souls to them. So was Arizona the place where someone linked to these power players approached him, maybe with a deal, a warning, or even a threat? Now, Arizona itself has a very strange energy. Wide open spaces, isolation, secrecy, and right across the border is Epstein's Zorro Ranch in New Mexico. That rabbit hole deserves a whole video on its own, but let's just say the stories about that place read like horror films. So what if DMX encountered people tied to underground networks? Arizona hosts ultra-private celebrity rehab centers, facilities that claim to heal but sometimes isolate, medicate, or even attempt psychological control. And we know DMX cycled through rehab in the Southwest multiple times. So was it just treatment, or attempts to break his will so he'd stop speaking out? After what happened in Arizona and what DMX called an encounter with the devil, he decided he would never go back, which means whatever he experienced there clearly affected him deeply. And remember that the people X criticized were extremely powerful. They're the gatekeepers of the system and the ones pulling the strings behind the scenes, like Jay-Z. Jay-Z became president of Def Jam in 2004, while DMX had 5 straight #1 albums. But once Jay took the top spot, DMX said his 6th album, Year of the Dog, again, was blocked. Why? Well, Jay allegedly wanted to clear out all his competition. That was the moment DMX realized Jay-Z would do whatever it took to get ahead, even if it meant stepping over people. And that's when X decided to walk away from Def Jam. But there's more to why DMX didn't trust Jay, and much of it had to do with the people Jay was connected to behind the scenes. While both X and Jay made a huge impact on music and culture, they ran the game in completely different ways. DMX consistently called out record labels for controlling artists and making shady, indecent proposals.
Now, you got issues with the industry. What's going down with the industry, dog?
The industry is full of a bunch of sucking, riding, bending over the desk, straight up like that. Whoever don't like it, bring it. Bring it. I don't give a bring it. Bring it. They got this new breed of rapper that's paying DJs to play their shit.
Right.
And, you know what I'm saying? They sucking the record label executive. It's like there's too much of that going on.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Let me be me. Let me be the artist that I am and just play. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Now they want you all up under this, you know, sitting at the going to dinner with them and like that, and you know, all that favor for a favor shit. I don't get down like that. Look, I'll give you the music, you give me my money.
And while DMX refused to play the shady side of the industry, Jay aligned himself with the gatekeepers from the very beginning. They gave him a seat at the table. There's been a lot of speculation that he prioritized maintaining his power over everything else, even the people he once called his brothers. And here's another major difference between DMX and Jay. Was he warning us? Did his 3 run-ins with the devil involve specific people in the industry? Networks like those Jay-Z is allegedly tied to in the Epstein files? We may never know the full truth, but one thing is clear. DMX saw the darkness before most of us did. He tried to warn the world, and now his words resonate more than ever. But let me hear your thoughts on all this. Was DMX specifically speaking about Jay-Z and the hidden forces behind the Epstein networks? Leave your thoughts in the comments and don't miss this next video.